In this series of videos, we're going to create a very basic PHP Content Management System. In the first video, we simply created a table in our database to store users and to store projects. In this video, we're just going to create a couple small files that we are going to use with our main files for things like a database connection, a place to store functions, and so on. So in your workspace, create a new folder called includes. And now inside this file, let's start with creating a file to store our database connection. So create a file called database.php, and in here, let's just simply connect to our database. So I'm using MAMP. So my database connection information is my host, which is localhost, my username, which is root, my password, which is root, and the name of my database, which is CMS. Okay, and that's all we're going to place in that file. So we can now save that file. Okay, next we're going to create a file called config. This file is going to be used to set up any variables we may want to exist across the whole content management system and any scripts we want to run on every page. So for now, we're going to use sessions to store our user ID once our user logs in. So at this point in our config file, all we need is a session start command, and you can save that. Next, create a file called functions. Okay, and this file is going to be used to store functions that we're going to use throughout our content management system. So at this point, we're just going to leave it empty, but we want this file to exist so when we start creating our main files, we can include all of our files like config, database, and functions. So as we add to them, they're all good and ready to go. Okay, next create a file called footer. Right, this file is going to store just the bottom of our HTML template. Now it's going to look a little incomplete at this point, but when we combine this file with our header, which is what we're going to create next, and our main pages, we will have a full, well-formatted HTML structure. And our last file is header. So in this file, we're going to create the top of our HTML. And in here, one thing we're going to add is a basic navigation. This will include mainly a link to log out and a link to get back to our main dashboard. So first we can throw a title in there. And next, just a few links. So a link to logout.php, which we will create later. And a link to our dashboard, which we will also create later. All right, and we'll just throw those in a div. And after that, before our main content, we'll just put in an HR. Now, also in our head section, we're going to create a style sheet. Call it styles.css. And lastly, we're going to use and that's it for our header file. So we can save and close that. Lastly, inside our main folder, create a new file called styles.css. So this is not inside the includes folder. And this is going to be our style sheet. And again, at this point, we don't have anything to add. Let's just add a simple font to our entire body tag. That way we can just confirm that our style sheet is being included properly. So these are all of our separate files, all of the files outside of our main files. In the next video, we're going to create our first main page, and at the top of that page and every other page, it's basically going to include all of these small asset files.